Welcome to Ouch. Was that a ghost? This podcast may contain graphic material, which some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Help me.
Now that we covered that, here's your host, Liz.
Welcome back to Ouch, Was That a Ghost? With your host, Liz. And today I have a special guest,
Haley!
the amazing Haley, joined me today, who's going to be a doctor, so she's going to be Dr. Haley.
Eventually. Hi, guys. Yeah, we're in the process to become a doctor, but, you know, for now, just Haley's fine, I guess.
Just Haley?
Yeah, I guess so.
Little old Haley?
Or har, according to Lee.
That was so weird.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Random, but...
Thank you for finally coming on the podcast.
Oh, you're so very welcome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's my honor. So I heard you took a fat nap.
I did take a fat nap today.
I like
it
that.
It was approximately 4 hours, so it was more like a sleep.
That's like a night's sleep for me.
Yeah.
That is not a nap.
We call them Haley naps because I tend to take like 4-hour naps like all the time. So
do you still sleep at night too?
It depends. I don't know if you see me attacking you on Monopoly Go at like 3 a.m, but
I do, and usually when that happens I have 0 rolls left.
Yep.
So I can't get you back.
Exactly. It's the perfect time to strike.
Evil Haley.
I know.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
I can't help it. Yeah.
So you ready for a story?
I'm so ready for a story.
This one's a scary one.
Ooh. I love some scary stories.
It's not scary. It's a haunting. It's a fun haunting. Yes.
Ooh, okay. I'm so excited.
So I'm telling the story of the Borley Rectory.
Ooh.
Which has been called the most haunted house in England, and its lore lives on. Dun dun. The infamous structure was located in Borley in Essex, which is found on the east coast of England. I say was because the building is no longer standing.
Oh no.
But the legend lives on.
Dun dun dun.
Borley itself has been described as a quaint, middle-of-nowhere, uneventful place.
What?
The large Victorian rectory was originally built for Reverend Henry Dawson Ellis Bull in 1863, replacing an earlier monastery that burnt down in 1841 on the same site. It was built to be his residence, well, for himself, his wife, and his 14 children. God damn.
14 kids?
Right?
What is he doing?
No TVs.
Oh, for real. Damn.
He was the rector of the nearby Borley Church. If you don't know what a rector is, he's the person in charge of like the church and like the hiring the people, administrative work, like a curator.
Okay. Makes sense.
On a July evening in 1900, Reverend Bull's daughters were enjoying a nice summer walk home. And when they were almost at the house, they saw a nun walking on the grounds of the house, which in itself isn't too strange because convents were nearby. But it was really late, and out of curiosity or concern, the girls walked towards the nun. But as they got closer, they saw the nun was transparent.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we just got transparent nuns on the property.
Yes.
Cool.
And instead of running, they called out to the figure, and as they approached the specter, she disappeared.
Oh my goodness. Vanished into thin air.
Yes, we have vanishing nuns. That's how the story starts.
Oh Lord. Okay.
According to a legend in the village, the Borley Rectory was built on what was previously the site of the Benedictine monastery, which is said to have stood there at 1362. Doesn't 1362 not sound like a real year?
It's not. Like, I can't believe that that's real.
It's not. So the story goes that a monk from the monastery and a nun from a local convent, and her name is Marie Laurier.
Laurier?
So I just think of Schitt's Creek when they're doing the ads for Laurier.
Laurier.
Well, the monk and the nun started seeing each other in secret, having an affair, because, they were married to God.
Scandalous.
And it's super scandalous.
So scandalous.
In one of their secret meetings, they devised a plan to run away and elope, to finally be able to be together outside of the cover of darkness, but they were found out by the superiors. And to say they were punished harshly is an understatement. So the monk got a more merciful death. He was swiftly executed by hanging.
Oh.
The nun, however, met a much harsher fate, which not cool, by the way. She was sealed up behind a brick wall in the convent.
Just like blocked off, like she can't go anywhere.
Like catacombs. Like they just like put her behind there. What a horrific way to go. Like
No,
you're
for
suffocating to
real.
death in complete darkness. You must go insane and then you die.
That's terrible. That poor nun.
That's like a ghost recipe.
For real.
And maybe because of her agonizing death, her presence is said to remain on the ground, searching for the man she loves, to finally be able to run away together. Even though many claim that this was just that, a legend, and that the girls concocted the story, that didn't stop many more sightings of the nun. Visitors recounted strange happenings like disembodied footsteps or strange figures that would just appear in hallways, in the windows, on the grounds, and in an instant it would appear and disappear just as fast.
So it's just overall just everyone seeing everything, pretty much.
It's very nunny time.
Very nunny time. I like that.
The nun was reported the most while the Bull family was living at the rectory. It was even said that Reverend Bull would sit outside and watch what was called the nun's walk, because that's where she would frequently be seen, just to catch glimpses of the spirit on her stroll.
He just wanted to see the nun walk by.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just nun watching.
Daily activities, nun watching.
What, do you have a different hobby?
Oh, no, I do that every day. I
Okay.
check it off my bucket list,
I like it. News of the nun spread throughout town, and there were so many accounts of witnessing the nun, the monk, or other strange happenings. For decades to follow, people continued to report strange paranormal incidents, and a lot of people said that they saw a coach, like Cinderella's coach, you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Driven by two headless horsemen.
Ooh, I love the Headless Horseman, personally.
You
It's
do?
Yeah.
So Reverend Henry Bull passed away in 1892, and he passed the rector responsibilities onto his son, who his son was also named Henry.
Wow.
They
Henry
called him
Jr.
Harry. I don't understand.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Oh,
So
okay,
the paranormal happenings kept occurring. Dark shadows and windows, and rocks were being thrown at people with no hands seen. That doesn't make any sense.
Pretty much flying rocks.
Yes,
Just being
flying rocks.
chucked. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
In 1927, Reverend Bull's son Harry passed away, or Henry, and it was passed on again. This time, it was a little hard to find a new rector because the rumors of the house spread, and everyone was like, yeah, I'm good. I'll find a job somewhere else. No ghosts, thank you. But eventually, Reverend Guy Eric Smith and his wife took ownership and moved in because the two didn't know much about the house, and they didn't believe in ghosts. But they quickly started hearing from the people in the town about the history of the house. One day, not long after moving in, Mrs. Smith was just cleaning, settling in the house, organizing stuff, cleaning out one of the cabinets, as one does,
Of course.
when she found a package wrapped in a brown paper bag, as one does. And inside, she found a woman's skull, as one does.
Oh, yeah, every day, Just
And it
casually
was-
find-
It was believed that these may have been from the ghost nun.
What the hell?
After the remains were moved, unexplained and eerie happenings started for the Smiths. Mysterious footsteps were heard throughout the building. Lights would just appear in windows. Servant bells that weren't connected would start ringing. And, of course, the Headless Horseman. He's still working.
Oh, okay, cool. My
The
favorite.
He's your favorite so far?
That's my favorite.
You have a crush on Ichabod. Got it.
Maybe it's a little bit.
The family reached out to the local newspaper, the Daily Mirror, and they were like, hey, do you guys know how to get in touch with the Society for Psychical Research? Our house definitely has something happening, and it ain't cool.
Not cool
That's
one bit.
verbatim. That's what they said. It ain't
And
cool.
it ain't cool.
Yes.
They knew it was up.
Mm-hmm. The newspaper, in turn, reached out to the world-famous paranormal researcher Harry Price. Do you know him?
Harry Price?
He's been in a lot of our podcasts mentioned, but
I'm
you
pretty
aren't caught up. Okay.
I'm almost caught up, okay?
He was known to, like, go to houses and be like, yes, this is haunted, no, it isn't. And he...
Oh, so kind of like Ed and Lorraine
Yes.
type stuff? Okay.
Like, pre-Ed and Lorraine Warren, 100%.
Gotcha.
But he was also a magician. You should know that about him,
he was
too.
also a magician?
Yes, because why not?
Of course.
So Harry Price came out to see the house on June 12th, and with that visit, a lifelong intrigue was lit. As soon as Price arrived, with a newspaper reporter, the first day, the house started going wild. Rocks were thrown with unseen hands, as well as other household objects.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to live there?
Items moved before their eyes. Again, the bells were ringing. And just like vases were being thrown. They'd be like in a room, a brick would come flying down. It was just like madness. So the Smith family pieced out after 2 years, leaving in 1929 or 1930. I've seen both. In 1930, Lionel Algernon Foister, who happened to be Reverend Bull's cousin, moved in along with his wife and their adopted daughter. I love her name, Adelaide.
Adelaide is so pretty.
Right?
That's such a good name.
I know. When you have a kid, you can either name it Liz or Adelaide.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Lionel started keeping detailed accounts of the paranormal happenings he and his wife witnessed during the whole 5 years that they spent there. And he actually publishes it later. And they saw probably the worst out of anybody that lived there. They got new things happening, like all the same, like rocks being thrown, all that. But now they started getting messages written on the wall. And the wife's name was Marianne, and the messages would be like, Marianne, please help me get out.
What?
They claimed the poltergeist activity grew. Their daughter would be locked in rooms without the use of a key. Windows would be breaking, dishes would be smashing, and Marianne said she was ripped out of her bed one night by an unseen entity and just like thrown.
Absolutely not.
So, because he was a reverend, he decided to perform a few exorcisms. But I don't think they were that successful because in the middle of one of them, a rock just got chucked at him and hit him in the shoulder.
They're like, don't even try. Just stop here. Stop now.
Some of the records that Lionel kept were sent to Harry Price, who thought that the house did have activity, but the Foisters may be exaggerating it, specifically Marianne. So why would Marianne exaggerate things?
I don't know.
Well, gossip time, okay?
Gossip. Oh, tea.
Gossip.
Tea.
Marianne admitted to having a fling with a lodger named Frank Peerless. Sounds hot, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So she used the Hauntings as a cover for when she wanted some wink time. The family didn't like that. Price didn't believe a lot of the things that were happening in the house, thinking that it was haunted, but they were exaggerating it. So the family didn't like that Price didn't really buy a lot of what was going on and thought that they were exaggerating it. So he waited until after the Foisters moved out in 1935. And then Price, who was still so intrigued by the house, wanted to know more. So he rented the house for 1 year to conduct his research. He put an ad in the paper for observers.
Oh, okay. Some people come by, just observe.
Yes, observers. The people would stay in the house and record any out-of-the-ordinary happenings, such as writing on the wall, objects moving, rocks getting chucked at your head, you know. Price claimed to have communicated with the now late Reverend Bull and others that have died in the house. Helen Glanville held a planchette seance. Do you know what that is? The planchette, the thing in the middle?
That is.
You know, a Ouija board, like the thing in the middle that you put your fingers on, that's a planchette.
Yeah, okay.
Where she said she made contact with 2 females, one being a nun, who claimed she fled a convent in France and came to England to marry a man she fell in love with.
Oh.
It said it was a member of the Waldegrave family. He was owners of the medieval Borley Hall. And she claimed to have been murdered in the building that once stood at the site of the rectory. So maybe she was the nun.
Maybe.
The other female being Sunex Amuris. I pronounced that perfectly. Don't ask any questions.
Oh, yeah,
and
for
only
sure.
delivering a message. Yes, perfect. The message was that they would burn down the rectory on March 27th, 1838 at 9 p.m.
You're frozen.
And they said, as a result of burning down the rectory, human remains will be found. that will corroborate the story of the nun.
What just happened?
February 27th, 1939, Captain W.H. Gregson, the rectory's new owner, was unpacking when he knocked over an oil lamp. The fire tore through the rectory, leaving nothing but charred remains. And the neighbors claimed while it was burning, they saw black figures walking through the fire.
Oh my god. I'd be scared. I'd be petrified.
Right? I wouldn't be sitting there watching and then one of the black things come at you. No, thank you.
Absolutely not.
A neighbor claims to have seen the ghost of a nun in the upstairs window before the fire was started. And the fire was ruled as being started deliberately. Dun dun.
Oh my goodness. Dun dun.
After the smoke cleared, Harry Price came to examine the burnt remains of the house like the spirit foretold. Skeletal remains were discovered. The remains were given a proper burial. The remains were given a proper burial in Liston nearby. When a doctor said, yeah, that definitely was a young woman's bones, not everyone believed that. They thought that they were pig bones, but if a doctor says that, I'd kind of believe that.
I'd believe a doctor over anyone else, so...
Over the people that were watching the black figures?
Yeah.
So over the years, the hauntings were scrutinized, especially about Harry Price's possible exaggeration of his findings. And there was a deeper investigation done by the Society of Psychical Research. So one of the most famous photos of the building was when... I'll actually text it to you.
Okay. Beautiful.
What's your name?
I don't know my name.
I never have people under their real name, so I have to like scroll through my contacts. But the picture I'm sending you was a picture of like the charred building, and there was a brick that was said to have just floated for a few seconds before it dropped.
What?
And if you see that thing right in the middle of the black,
yeah,
that was the brick that just
dropped out of the like floating, and then it just like fell.
Well, it just came out like horizontally. And then it just sat there for a few seconds before drop.
What? Bricks.
Yes. Floating brick life.
Yes.
So even the famous floating brick photograph is said to be a fake, which stinks because I thought that was the coolest thing ever. It was made by someone that was standing behind the frame, throwing the brick out and taking the picture at the same time and just like made up the story, which sucks.
Yeah, that would be so cool if it was real.
I agree. But maybe that person's a liar.
That's true.
Just pretend they're a liar.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
So in 1944, it was fully flattened now and removed. The legends of the ghost sightings in the church and the rectory spreading far and wide. So in 1976, in waltzed Ed and Lorraine Warren to investigate the paranormal activity.
Dynamic duo.
Yes. The Warrens, along with a group of assistants, claimed to have seen the nun in the cemetery and in the Borley church, because the church was still standing, just not the rectory.
Okay.
And they claimed to have actually taken pictures of the nun during one of their visits.
They got a picture of the nun?
Hold on, now I gotta send you that.
Ooh.
It's, I don't know.
Ooh.
You can tell me what you think.
Okay.
So, oh, I just sent it to your dad. Sorry. That's the picture, so you can tell me what you think.
Oh. Yeah. Underwhelming.
So, Ed and Lorraine continued to visit the grounds every year for their wedding anniversary for over 20 years. How romantic.
Oh, wow. So romantic.
And they say in the Conjuring universe that the nun wasn't based off of this, but I think it definitely drew inspiration from it.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, was that like the nun it was based off of?
Said no, but I don't believe that. So in 2000, Amelia Hill from The Guardian published an article which claimed it was all an elaborate hoax. One of the hoaxers wrote a tell-all book. In the book, titled We Faked the Ghosts of Borley Rectory, Louis Mayerling, which was one of the residents from earlier, which, by the way, I looked up this book on Amazon. Do you know how much it sells for?
How much?
$350.
Absolutely not.
So you'd be like, okay, this is going to be great rating. So then I went over to the ratings, 1.9 star.
What? A book for $300-something is only 1.9 stars?
Yes. I'm good. So,
yeah.
well,
not worth it.
The author, Louis Mayerling, owned the house until the fire in 1938, explains how the occupants were able to create the paranormal happenings. Louis Mayerling was quoted saying, I would love to say that there was a grain of truth in it all, but I felt the book had to be written to reveal the farcical truth about the house, as I personally experienced.
So, What? He thinks it was a hoax?
Mayerling goes on to explain how Reverend Harry Bull and his family, the man with the 14 kids, had a great time keeping the nun and the others alive. One of the tricks that was used was they had a piano that could play by itself, and one of Bull's children, a 6-year-old, would be hiding in the wall with a fireplace poker, like tapping the strings on the piano, which would make it keep going or make strange sounds. And the family, as well as the staff, used false walls, passages, hidden doors. Mayerling was quoted saying this was simply activated by prodding the servant's bell through the barred windows over the well in the kitchen passage. He went on to explain that Reverend Lionel Foster moved in after him with his wife Marianne, and their weekly stipend was only about £6. They were struggling, so they were like, yeah, sure, we'll keep going. That way we can make some money off of it too. Mayerling goes on to describe how he moved back in with the family, and the new heater the Bulls installed was very loud, so that worked to their advantage. The Foisters convinced Mayerling at dusk to walk the property in a cape with the collar turned up, which people would confuse for the monk with the collar turned up.
Oh.
It gave the illusion of no head, which may have also been somehow on the carriage. I don't know how. Well, Mayerling does recall one actual incident that frightened him. In 1935, a group of men, plus Marianne, were conducting a seance when all the kitchen bells started ringing at the same time, which was impossible. And one of the men jumped up. Just then, a large lightning of silver and blue flashed, and silence went over the whole table, and everyone was frozen with what they called paralysis. Mayerling left the seance completely blind, and later in life, he regained his sight in one eye. So even if it was part hoax, some things are really unexplainable.
Yeah. I get they think it's a hoax, but I don't want it to be a hoax.
I don't either. He might have just written the book to make money.
That's fair. That is very true. But also having a house with secret doors and stuff sounds so fun.
I thought the same.
I would love that.
Oh my gosh.
Hide and seek would be impossible though in that house.
That would be so awesome.
It would be.
I always wanted one of those houses that have the dumb waiters where you can fit people in it and go up and down and.
Me too. He definitely made that book for money. Anyways.
So it's all still 100% true. The done and everything. Okay. Yep. I'm on your side. To this day, unexplained activity happens where the rectory once stood. While just a field remains, paranormal enthusiasts are still intrigued by the spooky story of star-crossed lovers. And there is still the place that's called the Nun's Walk.
Basically, it was a love story that went wrong. And then people decided to be like, nah, it's a hoax. And now, here we are.
They were hating on their love.
They were hating on the love, for real. Don't be haters. Don't be #haters. I enjoyed that. I did.
Did you?
I did enjoy that very much. It had the Headless Horseman in it, so floating bricks too.
I know. I was really disappointed. I'm going to pretend that's real too.
Yeah, might as well. This whole thing is real.
The nun lives on.
She does. Forever and always.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast.
You are amazing, as always.
Oh, you're so amazing, too. But I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for listening. And if you're interested in more content, you can head on over to Patreon and search up Ouch Was That a Ghost. There's merchandise on TeePublic under Ouch Was That a Ghost. And you can find me on all social media platforms under... What do you think?
Ouch. Was that a ghost?
See, you're just still helping me.
Exactly.
If you have a story you'd like to share, you could email me at ouchwasthataghost@yahoo.com. Okay. I'm going to end today by promoting another podcaster, right?
Hi, I'm Natasha with Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. Embark with me on a journey to uncover the details involving cryptids, haunted houses, and unsolved mysteries. Get ready to awaken your curiosity and explore the unknown. Ask questions, and together, let's unravel the secrets behind the legends.